Hey guys, what is going on? This is Sam, and this is the Independent Musician's Guide podcast. And today I sat down with the most famous person that I know, Mr. Hank Chitty himself. And we sit here and we talk about the do's and the don'ts of if you're a musician, what sound guys like, what they don't like, and kind of some of his pet peeves. I kind of had to, get it out of him after a while because he's such a nice guy that it was kind of hard. But once we got him fired up, it was pretty passionate. So Hank's got a lot of really good advice for anybody in the music industry that's coming up, whether you're a musician or a sound guy or a roadie or just anybody in general. He's got a lot of really good life advice, just kind of as it is. He's one of the sponsors here on the podcast. You've heard me talk about it before, but he is with Hank's Sound Lab, and that's right here in Tahlequah. You guys can check it out. I will link it down below in the description. I'm really excited about this one. He has ran sound for some of your favorite artists that you have been fond of for a really long time. He's been running sound for them for the last 50 years. So he's got a lot of really good stories. And we're going to end up doing a part 2 with him and Mr. Randy Crouch at some point. We're not really sure when, but enjoy the podcast, guys. And we'll get to it. Turn off this metronome real quick.
Yeah, I don't think I need it.
We're going to be talking to beatboxing and podcast and all that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we could just go ahead and do that too. We'll go ahead and get a TikTok video going or something.
You know what TikTok is?
Well, yeah.
Are you on TikTok?
No.
You sure?
No, yeah, I'm not. Not yet.
Not yet?
I don't have no reason to be yet.
You told me earlier you was on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram.
How old are you?
69 years old.
69?
I'll be 70 years old in a month.
You can always just stay 69.
I know. I'll keep telling them 69 the rest of my life, probably. Well, I mean, at the bars.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good topic.
Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Sam, and this is the Independent Musician's Guide podcast. And today I'm here with the one and only, the famous Hank Chitty. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going so good.
It's going really awesome, yeah.
Yeah,
life
bet.
seems like it's going better for you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Everything is really going good.
Yeah, you got write-ups in the newspaper. You're locally
I
famous.
know. I can't believe it.
You're the most infamous guy I know. I think.
I just telling Randy a while ago that I was in the paper Tuesday and then he was in the paper Friday, and I said, "What's going on?"
Y'all just a bunch of rock stars, man.
Oh yeah,
The
sure.
old guys are coming back in.
That's what it is. It's coming back around again, I guess.
So, what you got going on this weekend? Speaking of Randy.
Yeah, I'm going with Randy up to the Mercury Lounge.
Here's along for
Now
the ride.
Sunday is a Skinner Fest, and there's a bunch of bands playing then.
Who's Randy playing with? He's playing by himself. It was a Flying Horse?
He has his own band, Flying Horse, but he's playing mostly with the Red Dirt Rangers right now.
I've heard of them.
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
Yeah, they're kind of infamous.
Well, shoot, man, I'm glad we're finally getting to be able to do this. We've been talking about doing it for a while.
I know. I'm happy about it.
We've been talking about getting Randy on the podcast, but I figured we could get the guy on the podcast that raised Randy.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just his babysitter.
Well, for everybody that doesn't
He'll
know,
never get raised. He's one of them kids that'll never grow up.
Yeah. Growing up's overrated, man.
Yeah, it is. I know.
Well, this is Hank Chitty, everybody. He is, like I said, the most infamous sound guy in the whole entire world. If you have a favorite artist in the Texas Red Dirt Americana scene, more than likely over the last 50 years, right? He's probably ran sound for him.
Yeah,
he's
probably
been around
so.
since
Anybody that come out of this area or this part of Oklahoma, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, back in the 90s, started with Bolin and Cody Canada and all them guys, Stoney LaRue, and, they all went down to Texas and done real good. And I don't know. I mean, the Red Dirt scene was started before that, but them guys made it take off. You know what I mean? They really did. They knew what they were doing.
Right.
They followed the Great Divides formula. You know what I mean?
Right.
That Mike McClure, he's a clever man.
He's all right, man.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
I'm a fan of old Mike.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, all them guys, and I don't want to, sound stupid or misquote anything, but I think that whole group of guys that you were talking about were the first folks to actually, quote unquote, commercialize what Red Dirt was. Yeah. But you were around even before all that.
Oh yeah, we weren't trying to make a living out of it. Mm-hmm. We was just living it. You know what I mean? It was just music. You know how it is. You have to live it and eat it, breathe it. Mm-hmm. Everything.
Well, that was my first question for you was, when did you start doing sound. So, and we kind of hopped into that.
I started with a band around here called Bellflower South. It was the Peyton brothers, Mike and Marvin and Ronnie and Jesse. And we also had a guy named Sparky Fisher that played guitar from around here. He was really good. And a keyboard player named Cactus Page, and a girl singer, Debbie Clinton. Her name's Debbie Summerall now, but that was an excellent band. I mean, that was the first band we started in high school, you know what I mean? And
so what was that, circa 19?
But Vietnam War was going on.
70s, I was about to say, late 60s, 70s?
It was like late 60s. And Marvin, he got drafted. He was the bass player, and he had to go in a couple of years. Then Ronnie got drafted. He had to go in a couple of years. And then I graduated from high school, and I was fixing to get drafted, but I went in the Air Force instead.
All right on, man.
But after that, they played, for like 2 years solid up at NCO club up there in Missouri someplace.
I was about to say, where did all this go down?
Around here, most of, how it is around here. There's only so many gigs. I mean, you had to leave town. I mean, that's what's good about Tahlequah.
Anymore with Tahlequah, man. I feel like.
Well, yeah, it's good. It's a lot better than it used to be. I mean, it's a lot better than it used to be.
Right.
But it's still, you have. If you don't leave town, that you get that hometown thing where people quit coming to see you because they think they can see you anytime they want to.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. Like playing your home market is a very bittersweet, dangerous, but successful
but you
thing
have to
all
do
at the
it.
same time. Exactly.
You have to do it because it's your home base. I mean, I think a lot of people make their home base out of Tahlequah because it's a really relaxed kind of town, and it's got a college, so there's a different mentality, kind of, and I don't know. It's just
it's arguably one of the most artsy towns in the whole entire state.
It is. I mean? I think it is.
Yeah,
it always has been.
And I feel like everybody that I get on the podcast that's from around here, I bring them on the podcast for something completely different, but then we just end up talking about how badass Tahlequah is. That happened with Cody on the last podcast, but
I can understand why. I don't never want to leave. Now I don't even want to leave the county now anymore.
It's hard, man. It is.
It's
a good place. I brag people all the time about how it is arguably the best small town music scene that Oklahoma has to offer right now. I'd like to think so.
Yeah, it probably is. It's pretty good. It is real good. I mean, especially during the summer when we have a lot of festivals and there's always gigs out on the river and on the lake, and once it gets cold, everything will move into town. And it'll be a pretty good scene. It should be.
It's been good to see like the resurgence of everything. We were trying to track it down a while back, and I think that I want to say it was around 2018 that everything kind of revamped. I think Raglan had really started to get busy, and Doc Fell and Co. started to get busy, and then RC put together RC and Amherst. It may have been 2019, but I feel like, and we were the three bands that kind of just ran around town for a while, and then I feel like just dozens and dozens of solo acoustic artists just kind of came out of the woodwork. Oh yeah, man.
They're everywhere, and they're great too. Yeah. They're all so good.
Yeah, but we'll name drop some people at the end of this one. I want to kind of pick your brain about.
I mean, there's so many.
Right. So all this was going on. Late '60s, early '70s. That's when you started running sound. Were you playing in the band, or were you just?
I was just sound man.
Okay.
Yeah. I started out as. I got a guitar late in life, a lot later than I wanted. As, acoustic guitar player, songwriter kind of person, and playing coffee houses and crap like that back in the 60s and stuff. And then I saw Pink Floyd, and Alan Parsons was the sound engineer, and it blew my fucking mind.
And you said, that's what I want to do when I grow up.
I said, that's what I'm going to do.
Is that still what you want to do when you grow up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If I won't never grow up. I'm one of them ones that takes a village. You know what I mean?
Right.
It takes this whole town to take care
like,
of my butt.
I was about to say, I feel like the town takes care of Hank.
They do. I love it, man. Sometimes I think I'm king of Telequal, but I know I'm not. But I think it's RC is.
I think you and RC could both change.
Well,
both keep that title.
Oh yeah,
together.
you know, we both have the same mission.
Hell, I think RC would gladly give you that title too.
Yeah, he's awful good to me.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
I love that guy.
So, what are some of the biggest names that you have worked with?
Oh God.
I mean, I know that's kind of a loaded question.
Man, there's so many I can't think of them. The ones I really care about mostly that I enjoyed the most was the people after the red dirt scene really got started in the 90s, you know, and that was like Billy Joe Schaefer was one of my favorites.
Let me rephrase the question. So what are some of the favorite artists that you've ran sound for? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like the biggest names in the world, but if you can make a Mount Rushmore of just like the coolest artists that you've...
One of my favorite bands I've worked with was probably from around here was Badwater.
Okay.
Bobby Hogshooter with one badass guitar player.
I remember them coming up. Well, I was coming up while they were doing the whole casino circuit. I don't know if are they still around or are they doing things?
No, they're not. They're not doing much.
Matt Farinelli was in that band for a little bit. I think for a little while.
Yeah. They went through quite a few people, but yeah, they were a lot of fun. I mean, God, you know, Stoney LaRue. I liked him a lot. Travis Linville. Those guys are all a lot of fun. Man, there's so many that I'd have to really think about it.
Who's the person that you think you've ran sound for the most?
Randy Crouch.
Randy Crouch?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Explain to people that don't know who Randy Crouch is. Like what?
Well,
what was his inspiration on the Red Dirt
He
scene?
is a rock and roll psychedelic fiddle player.
Okay.
I mean, used to, you know, he's my age, and, you know, we don't get around like we used to. I mean, he would play the fiddle with two hands and have the Stratocaster laying on the floor feeding back and playing it with his feet. You know what I mean? And sliding his fiddle across his steel guitar and stuff like that. I mean, he put on quite a show. I mean, crawling all over the PA speakers and all that stuff, playing fiddle.
Right.
And, man, we made a mistake one time. We made him wireless. We couldn't find that son-of-a-bitch. You know what I mean? He, like, just disappeared, right? But you could still hear him. He was still playing, but nobody knew where he was at. I don't know where he could have been in there in the bathroom. I don't know.
Awesome.
He probably was. Oh,
man, I saw Randy. I think the first time I saw Randy live was, I want to say it was 2013 or 2014, and I went to this festival in downtown Tulsa, and it was called the Center of the Universe Festival, and they had it. So me and all my friends, we went. I think it was freshman year of college or something, and they all went to go see bands like Panic at the Disco or like 3 Days Grace and you know, just big rock bands.
Yeah.
And then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I said, "Fuck that! I'm gonna go watch the Red Dirt."
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch the Red Dirt Rangers on the side stage. And there was and this was a hippie festival. I don't know how or why Red Dirt Rangers were on this, but they were. It was just a bunch of hippies, and then they were the only Red Dirt band on there. And so there was me and probably 20 other people just loving it. You know what I mean? And I mean, and at this time, Randy's still old now, but he was still old as shit back then.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
you know?
Oh, yeah. Hey, we've both been old a long time. I mean, when Bolin and them came out, we were already doing this for over 25 years, you know, almost 30 years.
God.
I mean, you know, it's like, you
and
know,
he was
he's
still,
old.
He was still
I'm
just
old.
shredding, and I was just like, man, well, you know.
Oh, yeah, he'll
even
tear
now.
it up. He used to tear it up. I mean, he was my favorite person that played Hendrix stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He could do it so well. I mean, it was like, it had a lot of soul in it, a lot of feeling, and it was, you know, closer to what Hendrix was doing.
Right.
You know, it was a lot of fun. He was really good at it.
Well, yeah, and even nowadays, I mean, you get him up on stage and he'll play with, you know, Mason Jar or any of these other,
he'll play
you know,
with
John
anybody,
or anybody. But he's got, you know, bless his heart, he's got to sit down the whole time But I mean,
Yeah.
he will get at it.
He'll tear it up,
boy,
man.
I'm telling you
When
what.
it's his turn to take a ride, he'll take it. Kind of, I kind of. Well, he went through a period here the last few years. You know, he had neck surgery 3 or 4 years ago, and he kind of couldn't play for a while. He couldn't feel his hands and stuff, you know, but you know he wouldn't give up, you know, and you know I encouraged him not to give up because I knew that it would come back eventually, and it's really come back in this last year, and now it's like when it's his turn to take a ride or something, you know, it's like I'm sitting there with anticipation, wondering if it's, you know, what's it going to be, you know, is it going to. And it comes out fucking beautiful every time. I like, boy, I don't know. I don't know why I stress over shit
Me
like
and
that.
Autumn would love to get him in on a show.
Oh
sometime.
yeah, man, that would be awesome.
We've
really
talked about it, doing it in the past. And
he'd love it.
Yeah, he's such a cool dude, and and I've met him probably 3 or 4 times, but I still don't even know if he would remember.
Oh, he knows you. He remembers you.
Okay, does he?
Does.
Okay,
I asked him a while ago.
Okay.
Well, I talked to him.
Well, that'd be awesome.
When I asked him if he would do a podcast with you, and he said, "Oh yeah, he wants to."
He's
He's all excited.
That would make my day. Yeah.
He's all
Autumn was
excited
in a
about
music video with him.
Oh yeah, that Doc Phil video.
So she'll tell you.
Yeah, I didn't know nothing about that. I would have been down there. I wanted to be in a video.
He was. It was the first time she met him, and Randy. He was bush light drunk in the middle of the afternoon.
Oh yeah,
Showed up an hour late, barefoot.
You know, beer is just not for breakfast anymore.
and she shows up. Well, she's there, and he finally shows up an hour late, and then he gets up on stage. Somebody's helping him up on stage at Ned's, and he sits down and he looks at Autumn and he said, "You sing so beautifully." And she said, "Randy, you never even heard me sing." You never even heard me sing before, and he was just like,
I wouldn't bet on that.
No, well, I don't know.
Randy
we figured
knows.
he thought she was somebody else or something. You know?
No, I doubt that.
No, well, Autumn and I.
Now, Randy amazes me because I can't remember people's names at all. I remember faces, but I won't remember your name probably unless I see you every day, 10 times a day. Now I might, but people will walk up, on the stage and stuff while we're setting up or something like that, and he'll go, "Oh, hi, Barbara, how you doing?" I'm going, "Yeah, I haven't seen you in 8 years or 15, 20 years or whatever," and he'll remember their names. I don't know how he does it. But I guess, to sing songs, you got to have some kind of memory, because, man, that's where I would mess up if I was a singer.
Right.
It'd be like, oh, that one verse that I could remember, that would be the one I'd keep singing.
Well, I'm just tickled then because, Autumn and I are both pretty big Randy fans. So she figured that he just thought she was somebody else or something.
No, he.
And hell, man, if you can get Randy in on a podcast, like I said,
he wants to do it.
We've got the caretaker of Randy, but if we can get, I feel if we got both of y'all here on the same podcast, we do a 24-hour podcast, man. We can talk about everything.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Well, let's get into the sound guy stuff. So,
okay.
I've got some notes over here, stuff I wanted to ask you. First thing, what are some of your pet peeves being a sound guy? Because I know that sound guys kind of have somewhat of a bad reputation of being kind of mean sometimes. But behind every mean sound guy is a bunch of musicians that made him mean.
Well, it's like this. I really don't. Most of my pet peeves have been eliminated, like when digital stuff came out. You know what I mean? Because like most of my pet peeves were like, if you're working for the main act, you go in and do a sound check. Well, then the rest of the guys, the opening acts, they do their thing. Well, my biggest pet peeve back before digital was the sound guy of the opening band not putting everything back to where it was. Right.
Well, right now you can save the presets.
That, man, makes you want to go choke them to death. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can save the presets.
You want main acts coming on, and, their shit ain't where it's supposed to be.
Right.
The guitar mic's over there on the snare or something like that. It's like that. I learned that from Leon Russell sound man. He always returned everything to where it was, and that's what you do. And I guess, it's like everything. It's like learning how to play a guitar. It sounds the same way. There's certain things that you have to do a certain way, or it don't work right. And Like, that's one of the main things. It really is, because that will mess up a show more than anything. It really will. Because if the main act comes out there and don't sound right, man, you don't want the audience looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
The sound guy is supposed to be invisible. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to even notice what the hell he's doing. It's like, and when they look at you, when you look at it, they look at you. It's not because you're doing good. Because if you're doing good, they really don't see you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only time they look at you is when something bad happens, and stuff like that causes stuff like that. But digital stuff eliminated that, because you can get a different mix for every band, save it, boom, they get up there, pull it up.
Right.
I love that. I mean, I don't run sound anymore hardly at all, but I had to learn the digital stuff.
Right.
I had to. I mean, I don't know. My mother told me, said, in life, everything changes all the time. You know what I mean? Be ready for change. Expect change. And I accept change. That's the reason I learned the digital stuff. I mean, because the only time I saw it back in the early '90s and stuff like that was in the studio and stuff like that. Then they started, getting more live sound equipment that was digitized, and where you can run it off an iPad and all that. And I think it's really cool, But
yeah, I see some sound guys just walking around with an iPad sometimes, and be like, what do you need more of in your monitor? And I know that it's 2021 and we're very much caught up on technology, but it still blows my freaking mind that they can just do all that from an iPad.
I know
it's crazy.
I know it is. So. It's really cool. I love it.
So I know that musicians have probably moved around mics and fucked with your settings and that kind of stuff, but that's probably other sound guys too. What are some things that musicians themselves that you're running sound for have done?
It seemed like in the 70s, everybody was trying to see how loud they could be. You know what I mean? That was what was cool.
Right.
But that's not cool no more, man. It's not. It's what it sounds like. The mix and stuff like that. Hearing that. That's what's cool. Music's not supposed to hurt. That's the way I feel. I mean, I've heard bands where I know they don't believe that, because man, what they were doing hurt. You know what I mean? Hurt your ears, hurt everything. It sound like crap, just real loud crap, But loud don't make good. It don't. It never has, never will. Sometimes.
So you've been pretty fortunate just to run sound for a lot of people that don't get on your nerves, then, is what you're saying?
Yeah, well, no, they get on your nerves because they all, I mean, they got. But see, I like when I work with a band or something like that. I like them to be picky. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Because I want them to be picky. I want them to be demanding. I want them to get what they want, because that makes it better. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Somebody
that's interesting to hear you say that.
Somebody that's not picky, that means they don't care, or they hadn't learned how to care.
And do you feel like if a musician doesn't care, then you as a sound guy, it kind of makes you just be like, well, shit.
Well, yeah. How can you put your heart into what you're doing when the people on stage aren't? You can tell when somebody's been doing that shit too long and too much. Mm-hmm. It's like a drug addict. You know what I mean? You play music and you're on the road too much. It does something to you. It does. It wears you out. It takes longer to regenerate, to get yourself back.
So as a sound guy, when somebody wants more of the vocals in their monitor, you're like, hell yeah.
Yes, cool. Okay. Yes. I want you to tell me during sound check. You know what
I
mean?
Right, not during the show.
And I don't mind during the show even. This is what I don't like. After the show, you come up to me and go, I couldn't hear my monitors all night long. Well, that's the worst time in the world to tell me that.
Well, I think we found your pet peeve then.
Yeah, that's my pet peeve. It really is. Yeah. There's a lot of people know that too, because a lot of people I've worked with do, because it's stupid. I mean, just tell me, you ain't gonna hurt my feelings. Mm-hmm. I've been cussed at, I've been hit, I've had guns pointed at me. I'm still not scared of nothing,
But by God, you tell Hank Chitty that you didn't hear your monitor during the
Yeah,
show.
just tell
That'll
me.
hurt his feelings straight up.
Yeah, well, it's like, man, why didn't you say that before, even during the show? You know, I
Right.
wouldn't. I don't care. Nobody cares. You know.
So what's going to piss off a sound guy, during a show? Amplify that by 10 times, and that's how much is going to piss him off if you tell him after the show. That's a pretty good rule of thumb that people should take away from this.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I tell all the young guys I work with. So, you know, tell me during the sound check. I'll try to tell them before we do anything, while you're setting up and stuff. You know, talk to the leader of the band. That's who you talk to, because that's who everybody follows. You know what I mean?
So on a scale of none to really annoyed, how much do you hate throw and go sound checks?
Oh, I don't mind them. I'm used to them. I've done them most of my life. Only thing is,
for
it
anybody
hurts
that
the
doesn't
show.
know, it is, you know, that's quote unquote festival sound check. You know, where each band doesn't really get like a sound check. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
I hate when if it's the main reason I quit doing a lot of shows is because I couldn't do like 6 bands or something like that. I can't run around that much, and you know, and if they don't show up for the sound check, then yeah, that's irritating as hell to me.
So when bands are late for a sound check, when you're there early too,
late or not showing, late's fine. It doesn't bother me. Not showing up at all, you know, to me that's like, I don't give a fuck. You know, it's like, well, you're telling me fuck you. You know, you're telling the promoter fuck you. You're telling the rest of the band fuck you. You know what I mean? You're telling the whole world fuck off, fuck you. I'm the only one that matters. You know what I mean? Well, if you're so good and all that shit, why didn't you show up at sound check so I can make you sound good? You know, instead of, you know, I've had people get up there and feed back and fucking sound like shit because they didn't show up at the sound check and didn't have their shit together, and they've been doing it as long as I have. You know what I mean?
Well, and here I was thinking that I wasn't going to be able to get any pet peeves out of you, but here we are.
I got plenty of them. I
was
try
like,
not,
man.
I try not to think about them because they don't rule my life.
Yes, I saw you a little worked up there.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm passionate about everything I do in my life. You know.
Well, let's talk about some happy stuff then. What are some of the things that you like being a sound guy? What are some of the opposite of pet peeve? What is some of the rewarding things about doing what you do?
Well, you know, when it sounds just great, you know, you have to do sound for your own band. You know, when it's nailed, you know what I mean. That is a good feeling. You know what I mean. That's worth more than money or anything else. You know what I mean. It really is. It's like sound is like getting to paint a picture once that you only get to see once. You know what I mean. They're going to hear it once, and that's it. That's what I love about live music. You know, studio thing, it's fine, but I just can't I don't get into doing that.
With live, you're in that moment right there and right now.
Right, it's like,
and
it's
then it goes
like
away.
getting on a bull. It is like, you know, it's like, man, I got to make this 8 seconds to be in the money, you know, and it's like, that means you have to get through the whole show and it be good, you know. And that don't happen all the time.
What does it mean to you as a sound guy when a musician at the end of the show comes up and shakes your hand and said, "Man, that sounded badass"? How does that make you feel as a sound guy?
That makes me feel pretty good. But, you know, if it was badass, you feel that way anyway. You know what I mean? But yeah, you appreciate that, sure. Oh yeah, you always appreciate that. Everybody loves to be complimented and appreciated. You know what I mean? Everybody does.
How important is it for musicians to be respectful to the promoter, to the venue owner, to the sound guy, to the everybody?
I think it's very important because, number one, if you're a musician, you're the number one person that's selling you. You know what I mean? And if you're some kind of jerkwad asshole, well, you're going to have a hard time selling yourself. I've worked for jerkwad assholes. David Allan Coe was the biggest one. You know, I've done that twice, and that was plenty for me. I won't never do it again. You know, I don't like the guy. You know, there's some people you just work with you don't like. You know, you don't get along with, or they don't get along with you, or something like that. Yeah, that has a lot to do with it. I mean, everybody I've worked with since him, I've really loved. You know, I mean, they were a lot of fun to work with. They were a lot of fun to be around. You know, because You know, you're living your dream. You know what I mean? You are. If you're playing music, you're living your dream. You have to have this dream. You know what I mean? To even play music, and especially try to make money at it or do it good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know.
Well, shit, man, I didn't mean to get you worked up.
Yeah, I stay worked up. I stay worked up. God, Austin had to quiet me down earlier in the shop. They were talking about stuff.
What is some advice for up and coming musicians that you could give them that you've seen other people make mistakes about over the last half a century that you've been doing this pretty much?
Well, I'll tell you.
Like if somebody said, Hank, I need one piece of advice. I'm starting out. I'm starting a gig. What do I need to know?
You can ask Grant Tracy, bass player for Jason Boland. I told them this when they started. That just because you walk into the bar and they feed you and they give you a beer and you get beer all night long, don't mean they're giving it to you. You know what I mean?
So make sure that you got a free tab.
Make sure before you do the gig what the deal is on your beer. Because if you don't, you might not make no money. And them guys are ruthless, dude.
That's happened to us a few times where we thought that we were getting free stuff,
Yeah.
and at the end of the night,
Yeah.
they ended up, we took $78 out of your pay, and we're like,
yeah,
what
$78, man. That's going to get you to the next gig.
Right.
You know?
That is funny. I was expecting like some, Hank quote about write good songs and be nice or whatever.
Well,
you said, listen, make sure your beer is free.
Right. That's very important, man. It is. I mean, I don't know too many bands that don't drink it playing bars. Do you?
No, I don't know very
I mean,
many
that's
of them.
That's part of the, I call it fringe benefits,
Right.
I mean, I don't drink anymore, but all my friends do.
There you go.
I want them to be happy. They're easy to work with. You know what I mean?
Well, let's get to talking about advice that we've got for, I guess, on the opposite side of the spectrum. What advice do you have for anybody that's wanting to work in the sound industry? Now, that can be like a sound guy. That can be somebody that's wanting to start a studio. That could be somebody that's wanting to, be a roadie or, I'm talking just working in the music industry. I'm not saying that they're not a musician, but they're working primarily in sound and things around that kind of stuff. So do you have any advice for, people that may or may not be kind of just dabbling, in that sort of thing?
Well, learn as much as you can. I mean, it's so much easier nowadays to educate yourself. You know what I mean? You can almost learn anything you want on YouTube. I'm serious.
Yeah.
At least obtain the knowledge of it, whatever you're wanting to do. If you're wanting to run sound or something like that, learn how to set up the equipment first and all that kind of stuff, and how it works, learn how it works, basically first, and then you proceed from there. It's all a progression, basically. It's just like learning how to play guitar, or learning anything, really. Learning how to drive a car. I mean, there's certain ways you do things, And, if you do that and learn, don't be afraid to ask questions and stuff like that. Never
Man, that's what I try to tell people.
Because most of the time, most people in this business are glad to help you. I mean, really glad. I mean, I want to help people all I can. I mean, these young guys and stuff, everybody. I mean, even the old guys. I mean, I want to help everybody, any way I can. Because it's shit. We're all in the same dream. We're all, like Randy says, we're all in the same band. The rest of it's just bullshit, So, we got to take care of each other. I mean, we are a family, That's the way we've always felt around here, that the music scene around here, we were a big family. And it still feels that way, and it has changed. Yeah, like you said, when you guys started, Doc fell, and, and around here, that things did change right then, you know, a little bit. It changed. It
Well, I don't want to say that we were the only bands.
No,
you know,
I know
but,
you weren't. I know you
but
weren't.
I feel like at
Well,
that
it
time
like,
there was.
see, you know, Turnpike Troubadours are the ones that put the focus and the magnifying glass on Telequal. Basically, you know,
without any doubt, for
yeah,
sure.
they did, and they should. I mean, the guys were great. You know, they were a lot of fun too. Now, that was probably now I like working with them guys. There's something that really feels good when the music is just so good. I mean, you know what I mean?
There's a reason that they are,
and
big,
it
as big as
sounds
they are.
different out front than it does on stage.
Right.
Not that it don't sound great on stage. I mean, there's more of a vibe up there, but out front, the sound develops. You know what I mean?
I remember
sounds
being
different.
freshman, sophomore in college, whenever I was going to NSU, and I think that, and this is back when CDs were still a big thing.
Yeah.
I won a CD. It was Goodbye Normal Street. It was their second record. It came out in 2012, and I won that from the radio station here, 102.1.
Oh yeah.
And I wore that fucking CD
Oh.
out. But I'm talking like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that for a year or two after, I think I accidentally wrote a ton of music that sounded like that record.
Well,
on
it's
accident, just because that's all that I fucking listened to.
Well,
was
Evan
that
and
album.
RC both had a way of tapping into the I don't know what it.
Two
the
of
soul
mine-
of the consciousness of the vibe from around here. You
Right.
know what I mean? They really did.
Yeah, they're two of mine and Autumn's favorite songwriters for sure.
Yeah,
They're-
mine too. They really
So-
are. Yeah, they are.
But
I mean, but I've got a lot of favorite songwriters. yeah.
that's like I said, man. With
I mean,
this podcast, dude, we start talking about things, and then it always just reverts to how badass Telequal is.
Well, yeah.
That's just
well,
what
it's
always
because
happens.
the scene around here, and there's so many great people that play music. You know, I mean, we all care about each other. Everybody's excited whenever they get to play with each other and
Right.
stuff like that. You know, and there's a lot of good shows around here during the year. You know, so yeah, a lot of people get to see you. Yeah, it's
Well,
a lot
let's
of
move
fun.
on to that part then. I got a note over here that says, ask Hank about some of his favorite up-and-coming artists. Or what do you want to give a shout-out to some of your favorite venues?
Well, you know,
that part of the podcast where you just name drop like crazy.
Well, yeah. Well, venues. The one I'm going to tomorrow night, the Mercury Lounge, of course, the hottest spot in Oklahoma.
That is one of my favorite venues.
Yeah,
for sure.
it is. For live bands, I guarantee it's everybody's favorite place, and it has been for a long time. You know, yeah, that's probably my favorite. My real favorite got washed away a couple of years ago. Webb's World of Fun in Ponca City, but
Right.
we called it the center of the entertainment universe. But it was like, the place was great. But from around here, there's a lot of really good young guys, and there's a lot of people that's been around for a while, you know, like Mason Jar Revival.
Right.
You know, they've
I'm a
been
big fan
around
of
for a
those
while.
guys.
And yeah, you guys have been around here for a while now.
Well, I'm
and
talking
Doc Fell
about real musicians.
Well, no, well, I am. That's the only ones I know. No, I'm kidding. I really like Blaine Bailey. He's been hard at it for about 4
That
years
motherfucker keeps
now.
coming up.
and
He keeps coming up on this podcast.
Well,
like
he's going to be moving up. He's coming up right now. He's moving up. He is.
I feel like if he sticks
There's
with it, he's
change
got
coming
something.
on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, his career is changing right now. I mean, he's just got a band together, and they sound good. And he's getting wild and crazy on that electric guitar. You know, he's been an acoustic slinger for so long.
He's probably one of the best pickers around here, I think.
He's pretty good song.
Is he even old enough to drink yet?
No,
No?
he's not even old enough to get in the bar.
Jesus. Yeah, well, he's
I know. And I've been watching him for 4 years.
he's a good.
I mean, hell, he must have been junior high when I met him.
yeah. He's got good work ethic.
But
and
you
he's
know,
got
there's a
good
lot of
sound.
really good young artists like, Anna Jennings. You know, out of Fort Gibson. She is a sweetheart. She writes great songs too, and
She does write really good songs.
she writes good songs, and you know, she's doing real good for, you know, she's just a little bit older than Blaine is, you know. So I think Croner's down there is probably the best thing. It was Dwayne's, and then that kind of went to, I don't know, back to where it was. But Croner's, yeah. And Ned's, they do some good shows sometimes too.
I'll tell you one place that I like that we like to hang out sometimes is the Deck out there.
The Deck is awesome, man.
Well, they got live music 4 or 5 days a week or something like that in the summer. I mean, they stay busy now.
Man. And them girls that own that place are just sweethearts. They are awesome. That's everybody's favorite place to play almost, we
love it, man. It's when me and Autumn see the Deck coming up on the schedule, we're like, thank God. Because they treat us so much like family out there.
They do, man. They really do.
And it's just one of my favorite things of the whole summer to go out there and get just a huge ass bacon cheeseburger, eat it, and then me and Autumn get up on stage with a bucket of Corona, and then I drink it all in the 100-degree weather and sweat it all out. Yeah, that's my favorite thing. Yeah. Almost like it's just I love it out there, man. It's a cool place.
That's a great place. And
what'd you think about that show that we were at the other day? I came up 4th of July weekend.
Oh yeah,
picked you up.
Oh yeah, that was a great show.
In Bayan. Man, that was a cool thing.
That was cool, man.
Yeah.
I'd never been there.
I hadn't been there since they redone it. What was the place called? Do you remember?
No Wake Zone.
No Wake Zone. By 10 Killer technically, but
over by the dam somewhere. I don't know where it was at.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, Blake Turner played.
RC and the Ambers.
RC and Ambers. Yeah, we played it. And Kyle played it. It was a pretty good.
It was a good show, man. They had a good sound system, good sound guys, and all that.
Those sound guys were nice too. I don't know. I don't know who they were.
They should be nice. Sound guys will be nice if if you're cooperative and you can get them to do what you want if you just tell them. They can't read your mind.
Right.
And most of them can't hear what you're hearing, because they're over someplace else. Or I like nowadays, man, you can run your own monitor from right there. It's your mic stand, with your phone, So you don't have problems like you used to have.
So all sound guys are nice deep down.
Well, yeah, but that's
what you're saying. Most of them.
When I was working with Turnpike Troubadours, I remember telling them guys, said, now, cause see, everybody I work with, I try to get them ready for the next step. You know what I mean? I told them, you're going to go down to Texas and everybody's not like me. Some of these sound guys are mean, they're assholes and all this stuff. I said, but they're good, so don't take it personal. They're just grumpy ass son of a bitches. They're, they don't, but it's like, I've seen so many frustrated, great musicians. And okay, I'm going to give you some good advice right now, okay? For people, young guys out there, watch out for the pitfalls, the real ones, the ones that will take everything from you. Like, anything
who are you talking about exactly?
I'm talking about
still sound guys,
alcohol. No, I'm talking about all musicians. Yeah, hey, I guarantee you, I've done my share of drugs and drinking, But yeah, that's the thing you have to be careful of, because that's what I've seen kill most of my friends. You know what I mean? It really is, and I don't like that part of it. It's ugly. That's the ugly part of music business. But that's the ugly part of life, because that's in every part of life. I learned that after I kind of looked out there a little bit more, got out of the, because I don't know, I stay pretty focused myself. You know what I mean? I don't act like it, but I plan way ahead. But, and from drinking too. I mean, I've lost too many of them, not just one or two. I mean, a lot.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
That hurts me, you know what I mean? Because it's people that would have had amazing careers, probably, you know what I mean? And what killed them was probably the frustration of being so talented and not being able to do nothing with it. Because most people that are really talented, like musically and stuff like that, have no clue about how to deal with business and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They'll give everything away. That it's not important to them. And it's like, they end up frustrated. I've seen it happen too many times. And, you got to be able to deal with that. I mean, everything's not peaches and cream, you know what I mean? I mean, I try to make it look like that and all that, and try to make, you try to make your life good. Everybody does. But, there's some things that's the real pitfalls. It really is. Try to stop, back off, If you are the only one that is in control of your life. And I'm a firm believer that you can achieve whatever dream that you can conceive in your mind. You know what I mean? And if you want to eliminate that out of your life, you can. It's not a necessary part of it to play music. It's not. Drugs aren't. Alcohol's not. But it does make it a little more fun. Between playing music that kills you. So be careful.
Yeah.
Don't do stupid shit.
Words from the wise. For sure.
I'm still alive. Damn, I'll be 70 next month.
We're gonna have to throw some big old birthday bash, man.
I know. We ought to.
We need to do it. When's your birthday? When's your birthday?
December 2nd. It's like a Tuesday night or something.
It's Thursday night. I know that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are y'all playing someplace?
Yeah, we have a show up in Kansas. Is how I know that.
Oh.
It's on a Thursday night. But that weekend or that Saturday, I don't think we got anything going on. So we should try to figure something out.
I might think of something there. Yeah.
All right, man.
I ain't never had no birthday party.
Let's do it. Hey, let's do it, man.
That'd be fun. I'm all for it. If I just make it a couple, another month or so. I don't see me dying too soon now. So ain't nothing killed me yet.
So words from Hank were, it's not the music that kills you, it's the...
Yeah, it's time in between. You're not playing music. Yeah, playing music don't kill you. Well, I mean, there have been people killed playing music.
I saw an
used
episode.
to, it was real bad. I mean,
an episode of CSI where some guy got shocked.
Yeah.
From a vocal mic and ended up being a murder. That'll kill you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sure you've ran into probably some electrical water issues in your day.
I've done outside shows, and it start raining, and some fool idiot still wants to play his damn 100-watt Marshall in the rain, out there, and back when the stuff the AC wasn't polarized and all that, back when you did get bit when you walked up to the microphone sometimes, if everything wasn't on the right phase,
Right.
You'd see a big old blue yellow streak go from the mic to their lips, knock them back. Oh God,
having these things help with things that we got on here.
Yeah.
What's the real name for them? We call them shock blocks. What are they really called?
Windscreens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, from Uncle Hank, he said don't do too many drugs. Keep the alcohol to a...
There's a difference between use and abuse.
There you go. There you go.
I mean?
And then if you're asking for more monitors, do it before the show or even during. Don't do it after
the show. Not after the show.
And then if you're going to a venue, make sure your drinks are free.
That's right.
If they're not,
go to the Quick Trip and get you a 30-pack and stick them down behind the monitor.
Stick it in the van,
Yeah, man. Don't buy their shit.
Well, all right, man. Well, hell, it's been good. I'm glad we finally did this. We've been sitting here for a good 45, 50 minutes. So.
Well, that's good.
It's a little podcast now.
Yeah. You can find out that I can talk forever.
I feel like we need to have part 2. We need to have part 2 with me, you, and Randy.
Get Randy. Yeah, that'd be fun. Me and Randy tell you some good stories.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Story time. Like, how'd they live through that stories? And he said, well, yeah, at least we live in Tahlequah, at least we hadn't got thrown out of the state yet. And I said, yeah, that's because we hadn't tried yet. We've been good when we were around Oklahoma. We've been kicked out of Arizona. We were thrown out of Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
We have to
save that
good
one.
Story.
I was going to pick your brain about
it's a longer one, though.
Some stories between you and Randy, or some good Randy stories, but I figured we were just going to have a part 2 sometime.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Come in and
that'd be good.
Talk about the good old days. Hell, y'all are still in the good old days. Y'all are in your prime.
Oh, yeah, man. Man, 70 is the new 40, dude. God. I'm not even going to tell you everything about it. I like it. Once I got used to being old, it's not that bad.
That ain't nothing.
Get used to the pain and all that crap. Waking up feeling like, just like I did when I used to drink.
Thank God for medical marijuana, though.
Oh, yeah.
You want to give a shout out to your friends over there at
Yellow House?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Grant Tracy and Chris Reed down there at Yellow House. You guys go by there and see them.
You get the special Hank Hank 1%
Yeah,
discount.
you go in there and tell them Hank sent you. And they'll take care of you.
You go anywhere else in this town and tell them Hank sent you. They might not let you in.
Not everywhere.
All right, Hank. We'll see you later, man.
Okay, thanks, Sam. I'll see you, brother.